Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Attackfang here. Welcome to the first game of IPL 4 Las Vegas between Team Mono eSports and Team Dignitas. For Mono eSports here, we can only see the one side. We have Lee Sin played by Zion Spartan up top lane. We have Janna being played by Pixel 3. As in the support type of role, we do have Ziggs on bottom lane as Cogmal, and we have Morgana as played by Paradoxical in the mid lane. So we're gonna see some action up here in the jungle. We're gonna see what they do. We're gonna see how well they respond to Dignitas, who's kind of sitting out there. We do have this initiation from Zion Spartan hitting onto Scara, but that's gonna just be a little bit of initiation, just a little bit of resonating strike, just to kind of give him a little bit of ground to show, hey, I'm right here. I'm gonna show you a little bit of action right here. So we have Scara on Rise, we have Voyboy up top lane as Vladimir, we have Locust in the bottom lane as Soraka, we have I Will Dominate playing the classic Mundo that he generally plays in these tournaments and in the jungle. And for the rest of the rounding out the squad, we have Ashe bottom lane played by Cutie So Team Dignitas has a really strong late game with Scara on Rise, with Voyboy and with Ashe as Cutie just having so much late game potential. So look for Team Monomaniacs to be very aggressive in this type right here. And we do have them coming back. They had complete control of the jungle right here, and you know, Scara is kind of looking around, looking for a possible gank. And we have Locust being pinged out here by Team Mono eSports. They do have it warded there, so they do see Soraka just warding it down. Pings are being issued out very wildly by Team Mono eSports. Just they know exactly where it's gonna be. We do not know exactly where Scar is because this is in fact a replay, so we can't really see what's happening from Team Dignitas and how they're really responding. But they probably are going to go to the other side or grab maybe they're blue, because they don't really have that warded at all either. And you know, we have a bunch of pings just being issued out consistently, just especially Pixel being very strong on those wards, just knowing where everything is. And Voyboy, Zion Spartan just going back and forth as well. Paradoxical and Scar are in the mid lane. Paradoxical is going to try to, you know, just try to do as much damage early to Scar as possible. He's going to try to keep pushing the lane, because that's the advantage he has over Scar right now, is that he's going to be able to keep pushing that lane and just keep doing damage. But Paradoxical is going to move over here. I Will Dominate is taking a little bit of damage. He's getting low, pretty low from Ziggs to being able to get that Biocane Barrage, but it's going to be enough. I Will Dominate is already level 3 and Ziggs only level 1. And he gets the Exhaust off onto Zig, but is that going to be enough damage? The Flash coming across from Zig, and that's first blood for Pixel. It's not the 100% thing that you want to have, is that double buff for your support, but that is a very strong first blood for Team Mono eSports, and that's a very great job for Mono eSports, just getting that first blood, getting down and going, and that is very strong for the top, or for the bottom lane. Just having that extra 400 gold in the bank, and just having Janna maybe having that little bit extra poke, just gonna be able to keep poking Locust and Cutie. They're gonna try to do it as early as possible. And taking a look here with Zion Spartan and Voyboy up top lane. Voyboy trying to, you know, going boots forward, just trying to do as much as possible to just try to keep Voyboy away from the creeps. You know, Voyboy with that cloth 5 just gonna be able to deal so much damage. Zion Spartan is already out of potions, so Voyboy is just doing a great job just mitigating his potions and just keeping Zion Spartan away, because he's going to be forced to go back pretty soon, because Voyboy is just going to keep harassing him, getting that transfusion in and auto attacks and some Tides of Blood like he did right there, just doing a lot of damage. And Paradoxical, like I said before, is pushing the lane against Scara, just doing an absolutely great job in doing that. We do have it, CV going down. They do know that Mundo is going towards the Wraiths, so Paradoxical is going to go back, maybe pick up a couple Doran's rings here. But, you know, just overall, just a very safe path by Morgana, just being able to push the lane, go back before Scar is going to be able to push this creep wave. But Scar does realize that the creep wave is not going to be pushed, so he's just going to keep it there. He's going to keep going pretty even here. And take a look at bottom lane. Zig and Pixel are kind of fighting off against the Cutie. They are getting pushed a little bit. Cogmal doesn't have the best early game until he hits level 5, when his Biocane Barrage gets upgraded to where he's doing a lot of damage. That's when he actually is able to go out to the best, and that's where you'll be seeing Zig just doing so much to Ashe and just gonna try to chunk him as hard as possible. But you know, you do have Soraka with Ashe Blessing, and we had a gank happening up top lane. Zion Spartan and Dignitas trying to go onto Voyboy, but it was to no avail. Just not gonna be able to get too much damage in, because he's just gonna be able to pull it. But Dignitas is gonna get a second attempt here. He's gonna get the undertow off. It does get the slow off. He doesn't have pull. The pull is on cooldown, but he's just gonna have to be forced to go away because they can't dive Voyboy at this point in time, because it's way too much HP and they don't have enough damage. And especially, you know, we do have Reckless Swing, but that's gonna take a big toll on Dignitas' Paradox's damage, but to get a one last attempt is not going to be enough. He misses the undertow, but the Resonant Strike does go off, so that is a failed attempt. But Morgana's going to be coming up here too. We're going to have a 3-on-1 gank on the Void Boy, and the bind just misses. That is a very strong pull by Vladimir, just getting that out. Good job by Void Boy, just going to be able to get that pull, instinctively knowing that that Dark Binding was going to come down from the side from Paradoxical. Maybe Paradoxical, he kind of let himself be seen in the vision of Void Boy, especially knowing that, you know, that he would have the pull up, so he was able to just kind of dodge it and just get away from it, and they were unable to capitalize on it, and that wastes Morgana's time. That wastes Morgana's time being able to CS. That wastes just Morgana's time overall. You know, just losing. The lane's getting pretty pushed. Scar is actually able to go back when before Morgana and when Paradoxical had main pressure on the mid lane. Just going to be able to just keep constantly pushing that, and we have, you know, just a lot of damage hitting Ziggs right now. I'm a Cutie Pie and Locust are just going to be able to just keep dealing so much damage because they can't. Ziggs can't really do anything against it. There's nothing that Ziggs can do right now that sustain-wise to be able to keep going into this lane, because all he has right now is boots and some health potions. The health potions can help him for a little bit, but it won't keep him going in through the game. He's gonna have to just keep trying to, you know, harass and maybe get a kill, because the biggest counter to a sustain lane is a kill lane, and we have some damage hitting on Locust. Is it gonna be enough? He does get the undertow off, and wow, gets the reckless swing off and picks up the kill. That is 2-0 for Team Mono Esports. Very strong reckless swing, just being able to finish off Soraka, especially with the Void Ooze from Kog'Maw, just going to be able to get it across. Perfect timing too, because Locust was getting pretty slowed there and he wasn't able to capitalize on anything. And you know, with Ashe being away, he was getting 2v1, and just the undertow slow just pretty much put the icing on the cake. So great job in Nintendo Dude X and Ziggs going to be able to just deal all that. And I Will Dominate is just trying to, you know, get as much of his jungle in, because he did get first blooded earlier, if you do remember, inside Team Mono Esports jungle. So he's going to try to pick up just a little bit over. They do have some pings getting issued out. They did see Dr. Mundo running through the jungle. They do know he's at the race. Are they going to be able to do anything? Paradoxical does wait a little bit. He does get the binding, but he's able to hit the binding. He does get the binding, and that is with the ultimate from Paradoxical and the reckless swings by Nintendo Dude and Nintendo Dude X. He's able to pick up the kill for Team Mono Esports. As a 3-0 advantage that they have right now. They might be able to snowball this, because right now Mono Esports is in the lead, but Dignitas does have that late game comp, so it's going to be really hard. They're going to have to try to keep pushing this lead. The one advantage that they do have is they do have Zig, who is very strong on Kog'Maw, and Kog'Maw is one of the best 6-item carries in the game, right next to Vayne and right next to Tristana. So look for Kog'Maw to be doing a lot of damage late game, and to have this team go from, you know, doing a lot of damage with Nintendo Dude X to just kind of being like a protect the Kog'Maw type of Nintendo Dude X does get himself pretty low, but there's no one from Dignitas around to be able to do anything, so they do pick up the dragon, the free dragon, and for 3,000 gold for everyone on Team Mono Esports. So they do get a very strong advantage here. We have some action coming between Silence Bart and Void Boy. They get the Dragon's kick, and Void Boy just taking a lot of damage. Silence Spartan just trying to DPS him down as much as possible, but he's not going to be able to do it. Silence Spartan is getting himself fairly low. Void Boy is not going to try to go against it, because he does know that Silence Spartan will be able to just kind of get away from that. And yeah, just going to be able to just keep, especially with the double null magic mantle. That's a very interesting Lee Sin build at the beginning of the game. Doesn't really have any damage, but it has 106 magic resist to be able to combat Void Boy's transfusions and Tides of Blood, and you know, with the Hemo Plague at the end, you know, just only did about 180 damage to Zion Spartan. He's going to be able to keep safeguarding and Iron Willing his way to just keep sustaining into this lane. And taking a look at mid lane, Scar is still being pushed, but he was able to pick up blue buff, so he's going to be able to keep, you know, using his overload, just kind of keep gaining more and more stacks. Just keeps constantly just getting more and more farm, because Scaro and Rise, just with a bunch of farm, is just ridiculous, especially with Rise mid late game. He's going to be so tanky and just still dealing so much damage. We have some pings going out into Mono Esports' jungle. The very strong cleaver by Dr. Mundo is able to steal the big Wraith and just get a little bit more experience for the I Will Dominate, which will help him a little bit more in the lane and hurt Nintendo Dude X a little bit more. But he is able to clear out the race, so he does have that timed. And you know, it's race, so it's not going to be that big, but he's going to be able to hand off Paradoxical his blue buff, and that's going to be very, very great for Paradoxical. We're just going to have that extra blue buff to be able to deal some extra damage, and just to keep consistently pushing the lane. And Zion Spartan just being able to deal so much DPS to Voyboy, and just Voyboy not being able to do anything back, just kind of being able to trade with Transfusion maybe, and a little bit of Tides of Blood, but with 107 magic resist, it's really hard to kind of knock this Lee Sin out of lane. He's just absolutely unstoppable right now, so he's just going to try to push this up, and I think Voyboy did go back. Actually, yeah, I Will Dominate is taking his place, and Nintendo X is going to try to get it for a gang. Zion Spartan does get the Tempest off, but he does get exhausted. He's able to dodge the Cleaver, and the damage coming in with the Ignite, and the Dragon's kicking the ultimate. Just being able to do so much damage, but the Zion Spartan gets ulted, and Brumasieb is going to be able to get activated, and the Iron Will just enough to save Nintendo X. You know, just getting that Ragnarok and just running through and getting the Iron Will just when that arrow stun effect ended. That's very good job by Zion Spartan, knowing that his teammate was just about to die there and just getting that last Iron Will safeguard to just save Nintendo X. That pretty much saved his life and saved the free kill there for Team Dignitas. So it's 4-0 right now for Mono eSports. They have a really strong early game right now. They're just doing so great right now into this early game, just trying to push their early game advantage as much as possible. And we have Paradoxical just trying to deal some damage to Skara, but to no avail. Skara's just going to be able to back away because he is right by the turret, so he's just going to keep doing the deeps and just keep overloading and just using his spell flux and just keep trying to constantly gain more and more of the gold, of the monies to distribute to the rest of his team, and just to carry on late game, to just keep being such a wrecking force, because Rise with extra farm is just absolutely insane. He's one of the best in the game when it comes to AP carries with farm. And Zig's going to be able to deal quite a bit of damage to AmaCutiePie, but he's just going to get healed up by Locust just because of how much of a sustain comp that this is. You know, Ziggs is going to try to do a lot of damage with that Arcane Barrage, whatever it's up. Just going to get some extra auto attacks on, but there's nothing they can do, especially with AmaCutiePie going triple Doran's Rings, or Doran's Blades, just going to be able to do so much damage. But we have Nintendo X waiting in the wings here, going to go into the brush. I don't know if they have this ward or not, but he's going to be able to run in here. Not 100% sure if they know that it's going to be that he's there, but they're going to wait for them to push this through, and then Nintendo X is going to deal a lot of damage just to try to get this, to get it through with action from Zion Spartan and Voyboy. So they're going to try to keep pushing this up, but I don't think they're going to really fall for it. They're just going to keep DPSing it down. They're just going to keep being passive, because Ashe Soraka is still a pretty weak lane. Not very much happening in the kill department. So they're going to push this lane, and we could be seeing just a very great gank, because they do have it pinked. So you know that there's no wards from Team Dignitas in the bottom brush. So he's just waiting it out, just biding his time as Olaf, but he does get Hawkeye. Very strong Hawkeye by AmaCutiePie, just going to be able to see Nintendo X and see the gang coming and basically say, hey, I know you've been missing in the jungle for a while, so I'm wondering if you're in that brush, and in fact you are. So Nintendo X loses a little bit of experience in the jungle, just having to go into, just waiting in that lane. And Zion Spartan just trying to get the extra damage on the Voyboy, but this is just one of the most insane sustain lanes ever, because we have the double no magic mana combo, and just the amount of healing that Voyboy is just able to do with the cloth armor and 80 armor, just kind of keep sustaining himself consistently, and it's just going to be so bad for Zion Spartan and Voyboy, because it's just a back and forth match. And if Zion Spartan doesn't get his advantage early, he's just going to keep falling farther and farther, because his mid late game is not very strong. He does drop off. His scalings are not very high, so Voyboy is going to have to try to do something to stop that. Or else he's going to be in a world of hurt against Vladimir, because Vladimir is one of the strongest hyper carries in the game when it comes to AD or AP mids or AP tops. Just especially with, you know, how much because his not his ultimate, but his passive does give him an extra 1 ability power per 25 or 40 HP, and give him 1.4 ability power per 40 HP. Or actually, no, 1.4 HP per ability power. And that was a very strong binding by Paradoxical, just having that ward down, pushing it down, and just seeing where he was going to go with the blue buff, and just being able to pick that up and take blue buff from Scar, and that's going to be very big for Paradoxical, just having that extra blue buff. And they're going to try to do Dragon now that it's spawned. They do get Hawkeye, so we could be seeing a very strong team fight happening from Team Dignitas. Are they going to try to respond to this? AmaCutiePie just getting in really close against this team, you know, just kind of possibly baiting something out between it. Pixel does get the Zephyr and does get the Howling Gale, and the kick does go from from Zion Spartan, taking down AmaCutiePie. Very good kill, being able able to pick up Dragon and pick up a kill on top of that. 5-0, Mono eSports and Nintendo X is 2-0-3 right now. That's so strong for a jungler just to be a part of all the kills, and they're going to try to do a dive onto Soraka. Nintendo X is going to run in through here. He's going to try to get the undertow in. Locust does dodge the undertow, the flash from Pixel, but he does miss the Howling Gale, but he gets the Zephyr off. Locust is slow, but is he going to be able to get everything down? The undertow does not go through, so they will not pick up the kill on Locust just because I Will Dominate has there, his presence as Mundo, stopping Zig, Pixel, and Nintendo Dex from getting that kill. And we have some action happening into the mid lane as well between Zion Spartan and Morgana. They're able to go away with full HP, but Skara was trying to harass him just a little bit just to kind of prove his worth in the lane. He does pick up the Tear of the Goddess and the Catalyst. It's so strong for just to kind of keep picking up these abilities. It's really hard to notice though because replay does mess up for League of Legends. So we do see a lot of dancing, a lot of stance dancing between Skara and Paradoxical just because of the lag delay from the replay. So I apologize everyone for the replay here, kind of messing up a little bit, but overall, you know, just a very fun game to be watching, and just especially with Zig just being able to pop his ultimate onto I'm a Cutie Pie, just dealing a little bit of damage, just kind of shunking him a little bit because Soraka is not in the lane. Locust was forced to go back in the lane just because of how much damage he was able to take that he was taking from I think it was Pixel, Ziggs, and Nintendo X, just taking that much damage from him. But very even game farm wise, but with the 2 dragons and 5 kills, that does make Mono eSports ahead by probably a solid 6k gold at this point in the game. Ziggs just being able to do so much damage on the Cutie Pie, just constantly farming, just picking up more and more. He does have the Fix Axe and triple Doran's Blade, so he does have a little bit of an item advantage over on the Cutie Pie, who just has the 3 Doran's Blades. So he does have that extra Fix Axe, which does give him a little bit more damage. Plus his Bio Arcane Barrage is doing a little bit more damage to Ashe and the other things that Ashe will have. So Zig's auto attacks, empowered auto attacks with the W will be dealing a lot more damage than I'm a Cutie Pie's auto attacks and volleys, especially with Pixel just being able to throw the Eye of the Storm onto Zig. And we have some pings hitting down onto Skara mid lane. We could be seeing a triple gank happening. Zion Spartan is waiting in the wings here. I don't think Skara has vision of him, but he does spot him a little bit. Nintendo X is going to run across to the side. The flash does come off from Skara, but it's not going to be enough. The undertow does go down, and Zion Spartan does get the kick. But will it be enough to take him out? But he does get the Ignite off, but Zion Spartan might go down here. He's getting pretty low, but Paradoxical getting the ultimate off. The kill goes for I Will Dominate, taking out Zion Spartan, and Paradoxical does go down. That is a double kill for I Will Dominate. That is 6-2 lead still for Mono eSports. They pick up a 2-for-1. Team Dignitas picks up a 2-for-1. So that does help him out just a little bit, especially, you know, forcing the dive Skara and just having I Will Dominate pick up a double kill. He's gonna go back and probably buy some pretty good items. Maybe pick up the Heart of Gold. Maybe pick up a Spirit Visage in order to stop the damage from Morgana early. But you know, just overall strong presence from Team Dignitas, just being aware that Lee Sin and Olaf were missing, and they were just able to pick up on it and just have I Will Dominate just kind of go across onto the side and help out and just have them take so much tower damage. That's exactly what happened there. So much tower damage hit Zion Spartan and Paradoxical, so they just got destroyed from the tower. Great vision by I Will Dominate, just getting that nice double kill. But yeah, a little bit of information, background information on Team Mono eSports. They were trying to look for a little bit to get into Las Vegas because their range of ages come from 15 to 18. They're a very young team. I think Pixel is the 15-year-old person into this group. So they're a very young team just kind of getting into it, which proves that, you know, you can compete in League of Legends in all ages, which is always fun to see, especially a lot of the people that are lower, like Faxon and Pervolter, just 2 really strong solo queue people, and you know, Pervolter just being the solo top 4 team curse, just having the younger generation just constantly just trying out these games and just want to become pros, which is always fun to see for the esports scene, and just overall just great to watch. And just Silence Button just being able to do a lot of damage to Voyboy. And a little bit about Team Dignitas. They were formerly Team Rock Solid. They did bring out a lot of stuff for previous tournaments, and they were able to bring out some new things like GP support, York support, and just being a very innovative team. Skara and Voyboy being some of the best top and mid laners in the business, especially Scar's stream, which has been getting 10k to 12k viewers on a consistent basis currently, just because of how helpful he is to the rest of the community, just showing everyone how to play mid lane, especially mid lane champions, because he's one of the best in the business at it. And obviously in this game, it doesn't exactly show too well because he is losing a little bit because he is Rise. But watch out late game, because this team has some of the best comps late game, and especially with Cutie with the initiation, with Crystalline Arrow, and with Skara just going to be able to flash Rune Prison and just having a lot of damage and tankiness that accompanies Rise, because he's scaling for his passive. Oh, he gets the ultimate off from Paradoxical. Cutie does get it, but he does get lifted up, and the damage from Paradoxical and Ziggs just doing so much damage. Scar did get ignited, and just a little bit of damage going back and forth. It is a 4v3 for Team Mono Esports, so they're going to maybe try to go back onto this, but Paradoxical is a little bit low. He doesn't want to try to go into this because you don't want to risk Paradoxical going out, especially with blue buff, because as a AP mid, you don't want to lose blue buff. And Scar is going to go into that a little bit. He's going to actually go into the ward. He's going to walk straight in. But will he actually get taken out? No, the ward actually goes out, runs out at that point in time, and Scar just kind of going back and forth. Really wants to pick up this kill onto Morgana, and he's going to be able to do it if Paradoxical is not able to get this black shield in time. But this should be a good dragon, but it will probably be contested. Scar is going to be running up towards there. We get the Rune Prison off. He's going to back off a little bit, but there's just damage to contesting dragon back and forth. They do get the smite off, so it is successful for Team Mono Esports, so they do pick up the dragon without losing anyone. That is a very good trade for Mono Esports. They're up 7-2. They're up probably a solid 7 to 8k gold, so they're just going to kind of keep snowballing this early game to their advantage and not try to push anything or go crazy at all. Spartan is going to come across here, just kind of pick up this creep wave just to get a little bit of extra CS, but Mono Esports, just going to be able to try to snowball this. They're working really hard in the early game. You'd see, Zig and you see Spartan just going a lot of Doran's plays, just trying to, get as much heal or get as much health and get as much early game damage as possible. Spartan does pick up the Hex Drinker to go against the triple AP that they have with the support as Soraka. They do have Void Boy on Vladimir, and you do have Skara as Rise, so you want to have that extra magic just early. He has 122 right now, so it's going to be hard for Void Boy or Skara to do much damage, so they have to rely on Cutie to do damage to this Lee Sin, who already is sitting at 2k HP. And they pretty much a lot of people from Team Mono Esports is picking up a lot of magic resist. I do believe Nintendo X does have a little bit of magic resist as well. Looking at his build actually right now, he does have the armor, but he does have that null magic mantle, which gives him 110 magic resist, which is going to be very strong for both to combat against Ashe and to combat against the triple AP that we see here. And it's going to be strong for Team Mono Esports just to keep that AP, or to get that advantage in just keep constantly grabbing just some magic resist and just keep propelling that magic resist through. And we might be seeing a gank happening, but Paradoxical does not able to get the binding off. He does get Void Boy caught a little bit. Actually, he does get it off, but the ultimate hitting down on Paradoxical and Spartan coming through to finish everything up. Paradoxical does pick up the kill, but the Rune Prison hitting Pixel, but a very strong Monsoon doesn't hit onto Pixel. Pixel is going to be able to escape, very low on HP. Spartan is going to go down a little bit, but the binding just perfectly hitting I Will Dominate, and Nintendo Dex is going to come into the fight. Just going to try to deal a lot of damage, but Cutie is on his way back over, and Nintendo Dex is running over. Pixel is very low, he's at 100 HP, but Spartan does get himself pretty low, but I Will Dominate to get himself out. Cutie does get hit, but Spartan does find himself caught a little bit. Scar is able to get the Rune Prison up and pick up the kill. That is a 3-to-1 advantage, I believe, for Team Mono Esports. Sorry about that. For Team Mono Esports, just being able to pick up that this 3-to-1 advantage, just be up 10-3. They're gonna try to snowball this as much as possible. Just very strong team fighting overall for Team Mono Esports, and they might try to go back up and pick this up on Scar. Scar does get caught, and the ignite does go down as a quick handling gale. And that will be a kill for Paradoxical. Very, very great awareness there, just kind of waiting there where Skara couldn't see in that black area. And when they had the ward there, Skara was just kind of face checking in to see if they were going to do Baron. And he met with a dark binding from Morgana, and that will be a free Baron for Team Mono Esports. And that's going to propel them very hard. They're going to try to get the rest of this game over very quickly. They should try to get this done within 30 to 35 minutes, just before Vladimir and Rise start to pick it up. So they're going to try to bottle down Dignitas and try not to give him any way of getting back into this game. taking a look at items for Mono eSports, you know, we have Morgana picking up the death cap. It doesn't go Xenia's Hourglass, mainly because of the triple AP. Not very much you can do to combat against that with the items, the core items that you want to have on Morgana, which is Xenia's Hourglass and Rabadon's death cap. Maybe a Rylai's, just want to see how much you really want to have in terms of tankiness, you know, because you do need to get the Xenia's Hourglass for the ultimate in order to hit and not completely go down as quickly as possible. We have Zig on Kog'Maw, picking up the triple Doran's Blade, has the Infinity Edge, and has a Zeal. Gonna be able to deal so much damage with that 251 AD. Looking at level 5 Bioarcane Barrage, which deals 6% of the target's maximum HP every auto attack, which means that Zig is going to be doing a lot of damage to anyone, including Dr. Muno. Even though he has a lot of HP, that 6% is going to be absolutely killer for I Will Dominate. And the turret does go down for Zion Spartan, so he's able to pick that up and take that down. And that is more and more pushing power for Team Mono eSports. They are going to try to maybe go up to contest against Zion Spartan, but for now they are getting pushed in the mid lane. We could be seeing one more strong fight from Dignitas, and the winner of the fight might determine if one team's going to come back, or if Mono eSports is going to be able to absolutely dominate. All 5 people are here in Baron, and you know, Baron objective is that you want to be able to keep pushing the mid lane as much as possible with Baron, because with Baron you have the extra MP5, you have the extra HP5, and you also have extra attack damage and ability power, so you want to use that in team fights. Paradoxical just missing the Dark Binding, almost hitting onto someone. If it would have lashed onto someone, he could have initiated a team fight and finished someone off. So they're just looking to catch someone right here to just kind of finish everything off. Just going to take towers, because towers are an extra 1k gold in the bank and just constantly extending the gold lead, because right now Mono eSports is about a 12k gold lead and just going to keep trying to ride this as much as possible. You know, just being able to just do everything so well as a team, just using this advantage that they had early game. You know, with Zion Spartan on Lee Sin, on Nintendo Dex having a very strong mid game as Olaf, and the same thing with Paradoxical with Morgana, just being very strong in the 7 to 11 phases, and they're just kind of push that against Team Dignitas, who are kind of weak in that phases, with the exception of Vladimir. Vladimir is decently strong at it, and Mundo as well does pretty well towards that mid game. Towards that mid game phase at level 11. But Zion Spartan does get himself rune prisoned a little bit, but he just gets a little bit of damage, not too much to worry about. So they're going to try to keep pushing these in. They want to try to push and do as much pressure as possible with Baron, because you don't want to waste Baron buff. Baron buff is a 3-minute buff that's just a godsend for any team. So they're going to try to push this up, and we could be seeing Dignitas try to initiate onto this last inhibitor, but Scar does get himself caught with the Dark Binding. He's going to have to be forced to flash to get away, and this will be his last team fight. The ultimate goes down, hits all 5 people on Team Mono eSports, but the Monsoon does go down, avoids anything else. They actually do not lose anyone right now. They still have a full team of 5, which is really strong for them, because Vladimir Voyboy was able to drop his ultimate down and just hit all 5 people, which is so big. I'm a Cutie Pie getting himself caught there. Is that going to be enough? I'm a Cutie Pie just unable to go away, and the last part of the ultimate is able to go out, and the Mono and Paradoxical is on a killing spree. That was a very strong attempt by Paradoxical to just get that Dark Binding and get that last hit and throw down the Tormented Soil and get the ultimate off, just to finish off I'm a Cutie Pie and have him not escape. Just overall great job, just having great awareness there, even though his team was retreating back and Dignitas was advancing on top of them. Just great patience, great awareness from Paradoxical, just going to help his team propel themselves into the victory here and take the first win of this series. And they're going to pick up Dragon here just to finish off the Baron buff. They're probably going to go back after this Dragon, pick up some new items. We're going to check to see what items they actually are going to be able to pick up here. You know, they're all going back, all 5 of them, just knowing at the same time when to go back. It's going to be interesting to see what Dignitas is going to do in order to get back into this game. They're going to have to try to win some team fights and just get a little bit of advantage just little by little, because right now they're about 13 to 14k gold behind. So they're going to have to try to get the gold advantage back and eventually push themselves back into this game and hit late game and eventually win this out with some really strong play. And we have Morgana being able to finish her Abyssal Scepter, so she has an extra magic because she's almost at 120 right now. Zig actually is able to get his Phantom Dancer, so he's going to be getting 1.6 attacks in per second, which is a very fast attack speed. You're going to be seeing Ziggs doing a lot of damage, even though the Baron buff did wear off and did lose the I think it's 15% damage modifier, and it's going to be still very strong for him overall. Pixel was able to get Shirelia, so he's going to be able to run into and help the team fight. Just going to be able to use Sorelli's active, which does give them a movement speed increase. I think it's a 40% movement speed increase for 3 seconds. A great initiator, and especially with this team with their chock full of initiators, like Paradoxical using the Dark Binding, the Dignitas with the Undertow, and Lee Sin with the Resonating Strike, and Pixel just being able to get the Zephyr and Howling Gale off. Just so many different ways to initiate on, and the Hawk shot does land onto Team Mono Esports. So Team Dignitas does know that they're there, and they do pick up another tower. That makes 7 towers for Team Dignitas for Team Mono Esports to 0. Absolutely 0 for Team Dignitas, and that's just gonna do so. It's gonna be so much pressure for Team Dignitas because they have yet to take a single tower. That's 7k gold that they don't have in comparison to Mono Esports, along with the kills, along with the Barons, along with the Dragons on top of that. If you think about it, Mono Esports has taken 3 Dragons, and they're going to try to get initiated onto there, and Cutie does get binded, and the Lee Sin Q is able to get it off, but the ultimate from Boy just going to hit him, but Pixel, very good job using the Monsoon, just going to be able to Australia to try to get out, but Amo Dominate is getting himself pretty low, and they're just going to kind of back away from this because they don't want to try to tower dive and inhibitor turret this early, especially how low they all are. And there's, Paradoxical with those bindings, just going to keep constantly hitting those bindings that's been catching I'm a Cutie Pie for a very long amount of time for this game. And, just going to be able to keep catching them. They can't fight it 4v5, so they're just going to push it up. It's going to be just be able to push up this turret. And it's going to be fun. There's going to be a final team fight happening. Scar does get himself caught a little bit, and Scar will get taken out by the last tick of the ultimate from Morgana. And just on a rampage right now, Paradoxical just getting it done. And Boy, Locust, and I Will Dominate are going to try to push this out a little bit. The flashes do go out. Ziggs does not want to get himself caught there, but Boy with getting caught, but the arrow coming all the way across, is he going to hit anything? No, the arrow just misses. Ziggs is so lucky to actually go up top instead of go bottom lane, so he is able to dodge that arrow. No kill happening for Team Dignitas. So Team Mono Esports is up 14-3. So strong for Team Mono Esports. Just keep pushing that early game into a mid game, into a late game to just finish up this team. 30 minutes into the game right now. So Dignitas is going to try to keep farming, just try to keep protecting, because right now they lost all 3 turrets right here. They're up 9 turrets to nothing. 9 turrets to nothing, ladies and gentlemen. Just being able to just absolutely just dominate. The Baron did spawn here. Looking at the items, the Nintendo X probably has a lot of items here. We got QSS, we have the Giant's Belt and the Wriggles Lantern with Aegis. Just being able to have so much utility. 185 magic resist. So think about it, 185 magic resist. Unless they have unless they have a Void Staff, or unless they have Abyssal Scepters, which neither Vladimir nor Skara do have. They're doing almost nothing to Olaf. So Vladimir useless, Rise useless to Olaf. Paradoxical having 100 magic resist. That's a lot of magic resist. We have Janna with 60 with the effects from Aegis of the Legion, giving armor and magic resist to everyone on the team. We have Kog'Maw who has 60 magic resist as well, but Silent Spartan has 148. Being able to finish up that Maul Glorious and Frozen Mallet, just having 40.2k HP. Probably gonna go next and go Atmos Impaler to get that extra damage, and just from the because the effects of Atmos Impaler is that 2% of the maximum HP goes into damage, so it'll be an extra 60 damage for Xylon Spartan. That would be 359 to 360 damage. So that's going to be so big if he actually is able to finish it up, because they might finish it up. They're finishing up this inhibitor turret, and the super minions are pushing pretty hard. So we're going to be seeing one more fight happening for Team Dignitas, just to try to finish this up to maybe get a comeback. But they do have Baron, so they're going to try to wait it out a little bit, to wait for the perfect opportunity to strike Team Mono Esports. Boy does try to go in. He does a good opportunity for him to use the ultimate. The ultimate does go down. A very great ultimate for him, but Pixel does counter with the Monsoon. Boy does get himself in the middle of everyone. He's going to try to take it down, but the damage happening from Monsoon, from Xylon Spartan and Nintendo X is doing so much damage, and the shutdown happening. Mundo is able to take out Paradoxical. Lee Sin, Xylon Spartan is going to be able to take out I Will Dominate, and Kog'Maw taking out Soraka, and just the damage coming out from everyone, just doing so much. Is Scar going to be able to get out of here? No, he will not. The damage from Xylon Spartan, the triple kill from Xylon Spartan, just finishing everything up. This GGs do go out, and that will be the end of the game for Team Dignitas. So Monomaniacs do pick up the first game. This is a very interesting game. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I hope maybe I will get picked for IPL 5. Thank you for watching, and thank you for taking your time to watch this replay of IPL 4 Las Vegas. I'm Attackfang here, and I will see you guys all later.